What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Welcome to the Friday Market Watch. Today is December 22nd, and I hope you guys are having an awesome holiday season. Today, we're going to talk about some Lorcana stuff. By the way, my name is Kevin. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like Lorcana content, and if you just want to know about Lorcana news, updates, prices, etc., etc. But a couple things to talk about today, actually. If you didn't know, there was a Shop Disney drop that happened today, this morning on December 22nd. And according to a lot of people who got to participate in it, it was only boosters of the first chapter, gift sets from the first chapter, and packs from the first chapter. And I think the only accessories it had might have been sleeves. There was no troves, there was no extra play mats, nothing of the sort. It just seems like the only thing that we're getting right now is a bunch of the first chapter, which I wonder if that's going to be the plan, the strategy for Ravensburger now. Are they going to be just flooding us with the first chapter? Because as you can tell, there's a lot of posts online about like, hey, I found Lorcana, and it's great that people are finding Lorcana, but it's primarily the first chapter. It seems like most of Rise of the Floodborn goes really quick, and the first chapter kind of sits on the shelf right now a little bit. It depends on your area, because I'm in Southern California and I haven't been able to find any Lorcana at any Target. I think it's just like a city, I'm near the city. I'm in the city basically, and it's just super popular. Stuff like that is always going to be popping. It's always going to sell real quick. But I was able to snag like a couple of blister packs from a Best Buy only because my brother works at Best Buy, and if it wasn't for that, like I wouldn't have known. But in general, it just still seems like the game is definitely in demand. But because the Shop Disney sale sold out, even though it was just the first chapter, it sold out already. And I wasn't in line for the queue or nothing. You guys know me. I'm not really into trying to like chase cards or prices like that at MSRP, because it's not a good feeling when I when I miss out, right? Waiting in the queues and all that. But apparently they'd had only the first chapter and none of Rise of the Floodborn. So not really sure what that means. I wonder if Ravensburger just opted to print way more the first chapter. There's obviously going to be more of the first chapter, going around, and it's going to impact the prices because it's been around. It's been out longer. It's at its second printing, and I think we've only really had one printing of the Rise of the Floodborn, with it coming out in a couple different waves, right? But I do have some new stuff to talk about here on TCG Player, like the Into the Inklands booster box pre-orders that are getting listed on TCG Player. And you guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I have some news for you. You probably shouldn't get these pre-orders. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you want to look at the prices for the boxes for Chapter 1, well, they're pretty much at MSRP now. If you didn't know, which is pretty crazy, because the first chapter booster box is as low as $145 with $7 shipping by Magic Mountain TCG. Shout out you guys. So they have it here for $145. That's basically MSRP. And we could even look at the Rise of the Floodborn booster boxes. This is the second set. This is the newer set. And I'm talking as if you guys are new to Lorcana, because we do get a lot of new viewers, and I appreciate you. So, hey, if you're new to Lorcana, this is the second set. And this set is even cheaper than the first set, obviously because an enchanted also, blah, blah, blah. But this is lower than MSRP on TCG Player now. Can you believe it, guys? We finally made it. If you've been playing Lorcana, if you've been into the game since August, you know how much of a pipe dream this felt like. This concept of, oh, I want to find cards at MSRP, and now the second chapter, the Rise of the Floodborn, is even less than MSRP. Why? The set is honestly not that good. Unfortunately, the only amazing card in this set is going to be Beast, Tragic Hero, aka Sad Boy Beast. Now, that card is really good, but we'll get into that later on as we talk about that. But as you can tell, the booster box pricing is definitely gonna fluctuate depending on how important the meta is, how much is in production, and overall just how in demand the game is. And one of the big things right now is that we don't have any organized play situation. So really all a bunch of us are doing is playing locals. We're playing League, we're getting these cool pins and whatnot. Some people are offering some cool prizes, maybe cash prizes, enchanted tournaments, but it's all very like grassroots tournament kind of style, where we're all kind of figuring out like how do we make our own tournament scene, because Ravensburger unfortunately has not provided us with a organized play situation to let us really take advantage of our spending. You know what I mean? Because yeah, I want to buy these cards, but I also want to feel like I'm buying them for a reason. And quite personally, like I do like going to locals, but sometimes it's just not worth it. And at least over here in California, it feels like we haven't had any events. Like the closest event that I can think of that's gonna happen soon is gonna be in Houston, Texas. And like I'll be real with you, like I don't want to really spend money to travel to Houston, Texas to go to a game convention that's a variety of games just for the Lorcana section. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of money, and it's just not really in my budget. So like I really am excited for the organized play, like regional events, like just Lorcana specific dictated events, because I really do think it'll increase the demand of the game, the popularity as well. More people are going to be buying cards. Like a lot of the top Pixelborn players, people who are like rank like 20 to rank 1 on Pixelborn, don't even have real life cards in Lorcana yet. Why? Because they feel they don't really have the most reason to own the cards. You know what I mean? Excuse me. If you are playing this game and you like the game, you love it, and you're buying the cards for yourself, that and it shouldn't matter to you like whether or not there's organized play, because me like I like the game. I'm gonna play with my homies, and I'm gonna want to play multiplayer. So it is a fun game to play. That is gonna outweigh pretty much anything else. Like if the game is fun or not, like I will waste the money on it. That's how games work. If games are fun, I will buy them. But when it comes to like tournament style play, because I am a competitive player, I really do think that is going to drive the overall economy back up, because right now the prices are so low. And I say that because I'm saying that right now because in regard to these pre-orders, because there's already been a sale of somebody that's bought it for $229, and I bought booster boxes of Rise of the Floodborn at $225, $250, $180, and now I'm feeling a little bad about it. You know what I mean? Because I could have waited. Yeah, I did want the cards in my hand, but I just haven't been able to play as many locals as I even could have amounted to think about, like if it would have been worth it. A lot of my friends are busy, don't really. It's Christmas season, like just there's not enough time for me to play the Lorcana I want to play right now. So I could have waited. I was a little impatient, and I could have waited until like this time around, and I really could have saved a pretty penny. And I feel like if you're in that situation where there's not really events around you and you're just trying to build a collection, maybe you should wait. In terms of for the Into the Inklands, but if in getting your hands on Into the Inklands. But another thing too is like, is it going to be hard for you to find booster boxes and troves and stuff like that? Because they also have the troves listed for Into the Inklands, and the troves are priced at $150. And if you guys want to compare these to the Rise of the Flutterburn Troves, we can in a sec. Right here, we got them right here. The Rise of the Flutterburn Troves are $60. Right now, they're not that expensive, but I do think that the sealed product does have that collectability. So if you are gonna like buy the Troves, I think that like for the Rise of the Flutterborn anyway, you're better off just buying them and holding the Trove sealed. I don't think there's anything worth in those 8 packs that's worth pulling. You're already paying more than MSRP on the pack price when the booster box is less than MSRP. So if you just want to crack packs, just buy the booster box. If you're gonna buy troves, it's really if you want to keep the product sealed. And overall, like we've seen how the trove price does go up, because the first chapter troves, these didn't get reprinted. These were not in the Shop Disney, and these were not in the Shop Disney situation. So you weren't able to buy these last night, and because of that, the prices are still pretty high. I did see a couple more listings go on sale and now they're back at less than $200, because over the course of these last couple days, there was a couple listings that were really up there for like $199. Yeah, so somebody bought one for $199, $198, $187, and now you can find them for around $165 to $170. So they have come down just a little bit, but they're still close to $200 for these chapter 1 sealed troves. And I'm pretty sure you got to keep it in mint condition either. Like make sure it's not dinged up. If you have these, put them in somewhere where it's going to be like protected by the elements, is how I like to say it. Like put it in like a Tupperware or something. Keep them in quality condition, because it's looking like these type of sealed products are just, these aren't going to get reprinted anytime soon. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about these getting reprinted. I know the D100s are for sure not getting reprinted now. And yeah, but still, is it worth pre-ordering the Into the Inklands trove? I don't think so, because as you can see, we can buy the Rise of the Floodborn troves for very close to MSRP right now. And if, again, like I said, if you want it for collectability's sake, just wait until about this time frame when they get printed in mass again, and you're going to be able to find them close to MSRP. Paying a little bit above MSRP is going to be expected for sealed product, though. Always understand that. And I'm pretty surprised the booster box for Rise of the Floodborn is that low right now. these goons even have the Into the Inklands gift set up here. There's only one listing, and it's $90. And again, don't know if you guys think this is worth it. The first gift set, MSRP, this is going to be about $30. This is not going to be like the D100 gift set. There's nothing too crazy that's in this. It just comes with 2 promos, the same way that the Mulan gift set came with. You know what I mean? This one. So it's the same thing. It's just going to come with 2 promos and the little cardboard things. Sorry, it's technically 4 promos because you get the giant promos. But look at the price of Mulan and Hades from those promos. They're pennies. They're penny promo cards, right? And that gift set MSRP was $30. I paid 45 on the resale market, and in no way, shape, or form is it ever going to be worth $90. So there's not a single sale that's happened yet, but there is a listing for $90 pre-order on the gift set, and I just got to tell you, don't do it. Please don't do it, guys. Not worth it. This is not worth it. They even have the starter decks. There's a couple of listings, and unfortunately, several sales that have happened already for the starter decks. Supposedly, there's been 2, 4, 5 sales at $30. These starter decks, and it again. Let's look at the starter decks for Rise of the Floodborn, the newest set. MSRP. You can find them at MSRP on TCG Player right now. And if you can go on Facebook and or OfferUp, and there's just a gang of these. There's a bunch of these at Target. All I see at Target now is, hey, I found Lorcana at my local Target, and it's Rise of the Floodborn, starter decks, Chapter 1 blister packs, Chapter 1 starter decks. Those are the only 3 things I ever see. Every now and then I'll see a Floodborn trove or a couple troves, which is cool, So I do see the troves kind of coming into circulation at Target still, but it's only Rise of the Floodborn troves. It's not the first chapter. I haven't seen any of the first chapter, so please do not buy the pre-orders for Into the Inkland starter decks for $30, double the price when we're only about a month into the release of Rise of the Floodborn and they're already at MSRP, and the booster boxes are below MSRP. You see where I'm going with this, guys? Like, and this is obviously because this set is not the best. I don't want to say mean words about this set because I do like the artwork in the set. I do like the capabilities to play multiplayer. There's a lot of stuff that is great in this set, but in terms of competitive play and the demand for meta cards, the set is kind of booty. You know what I mean? It's mid. It's not that good. So that's obviously going to dictate the price of being below MSRP, whereas the first chapter still has some of the best legendaries: Rapunzel, Maleficent Dragon, even Surfer Stitch, Giant Tinkerbell. And then when you want to break down the Enchanteds, the first chapter has the Enchanted Elsa. So, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But enough about the sealed product. We know that the Day 100 collector's editions are going to be, still around that $66 range. Scalpers get got. I just want to laugh a little bit at the fact that a lot of people bought like tens and tens of these at Disneyland thinking they were going to make money, but they're not, right? Okay, so the Maleficent playmats, these have been selling for more than $100, guys. Which another one sold for $100. Now there's 2 listings for $150 and $122. So I don't know, man. The playmats are pretty popping. The Mickey Mouse playmat already sold out on TCG Player. The ones that were listed for $89, they all sold out. So this mat is officially like a $90 playmat. It was in that $45, $60 range for a long time, and now it's jumped up. And there isn't any listings for the Moana mat, but it's on TCG Player. There's going to be listings for it. These are actually, I think, decent collectibles because, man, that Maleficent mat price has been going up. But let's talk about some enchanted rare cards. So Alice Growing Girl, I feel like, is an enchanted rare that has been kind of keeping its price a little bit around, kind of competing actually with being one of those enchanted that stays around 150 to 145, kind of the way Giant Tinkerbell stayed and Surfer Stitch. Those are really the enchanted rares I feel that have been staying above $100. So Alice is kind of one of them that I would kind of look out for in the sense of, like, if I pull it, I'm confident it's going to stay over $100 at least, for the time being. But what I did notice is that Cinderella Ballroom Sensation has been coming down in price so much that it's kind of getting close to the Alice price point. So it's only a couple bucks, like $30 more than Alice, and this card used to be like double the price. This was like $300 when the set first came out, and now it's closer to that like $160 to $200 range, which is kind of crazy because the card is really good. But I also feel like, like I said, the demand for the game is just not there right now because we're lacking a lot of reason for other people to invest themselves, their money, their time into owning the cards right now, but everybody's favorite, most expensive enchanted rare, Elsa, Spirit of Winter, has dropped below the $400 mark. We've been looking at it every week since the game first came out, and we've seen it go from $300 to $500 to $1,000, and now we're here in December Happy holidays, everybody. Your Elsas are now worth oogly boogly $350. Kind of crazy. It's just the way the card game market works, in my opinion. If you're new to TCGs, welcome. It's a very volatile market. If you're familiar with TCGs, you kind of know how it goes down. You know, a lot of stuff is hyped up in the very beginning, and it's looking like that's where Lorcana is headed. There's a lot of hype when the cards first came out, and then it dwindles down based off of the meta relevancy. The biggest issue is that we don't really have a tournament meta going on yet because, an official tournament meta going on yet because we don't have any official tournaments. We have a bunch of tournaments, you know, and there is a meta, but nothing official yet. So the lack of demand for some of these cards is reflecting, and there's just so much of the first chapter being printed. You know, I imagine there's a couple more Elsas being sold and listed, but I do want to say this is the lowest I've seen it in a long time. Let's look at the yearly chart right here. Yeah, man, it was selling out the gate around 350, and it's gone all the way back around the circle as low as $320 on a non-verified and $349 by Pandito Gaming. Shout out you for this low enchanted Elsa price. If this is a card that you've been wanting to get, hey, why not get it now? I know there's a bunch of silly rumors about whether or not the cards from the first wave and the second wave look different, etc., etc. And I'll be real with you, there's just quality control issues all around. And there's really no way to tell between the first wave and the second wave of the first chapter. At the end of the day, you're never really going to be able to get that guarantee or satisfaction. Really just go through trusted sellers like TCG Player, you know, and or even just LGS stores or people, LGS locations that you know, or people that you know that sell cards, and trusted sellers. I think you'll be satisfied with your purchase, you know. But yeah, Enchanted Elsa, man, very interesting to see. Very interesting to see indeed this card go all the way down to 300. But I don't think it's ever gonna go as low as this Enchanted Rare. The lowest Enchanted Rare in terms of price right now, Namari Morning Mist, as low as $65 by Heaven Tabletop. Wow, a $65 Enchanted Rare. That's kind of cool. I wish Namari was good, because this is a card that I actually just like the character. The artwork is really dope. And if I had, like, you know, a Namari style deck, or like if the meta was a little bit more diverse and I could justify playing a card like this, oh, I would love to play for Namari in a deck. You know, it is really cool. If you haven't seen Raya Last Dragon, I recommend you watch it. I watched it before Rise of the Photoborn came out because I was curious, and I've been very satisfied with that movie, with that movie experience. But These Tragic Heroes, another steel card that we should look out for. The most expensive legendary in Rise of the Floodborn. Really the only reason I think you want to probably crack Rise of the Floodborn packs. There are some cool cards for your collection in that set. I think there's also a bunch of cards that do get better over time. We just don't know where Lorcana's headed in terms of a tournament play situation. And we don't know what it'll do to the market. You know what I mean? Because if they just do like a random ban list or set rotation stuff and all that nonsense, it will impact the prices of the cards. And that's information that we are gonna need to know in order to really make like big assumptions in the future about like which cards are gonna go up and down or gonna be being played or not, right? But there's a bunch of cards you can kind of safely say are gonna stay relevant, like Beast Tragic Hero, which is just a solid card to play. It draws cards in Lorcana. The lowest verified we have is gonna be by Chaos Games NWA with a $34.69 with the $1.25 shipping. So about $36, still close to that $40 mark, but not really in that $40 range anymore. I would argue it's more in that $36 to $37 range. A little bit less than it was last week when it was hitting up to $45 as high. But the foils are pretty close. Are still pretty close in price. The cold foils are going to be about $10 more, or maybe even less, about $7 more. We have PC Games Inc. They have a near mint foil for $41.45. Blurred's Hobby Shop for $41.45. So, you know, if you want to pay a little bit more, I think it's just better to get the foils. We've seen time and time and again how, like, as reprints come out and as like the production speeds up, the foils end up keeping their value way more than the non-foils. You can see this in cards like Rapunzel. Rapunzel was a card that was obviously in that like $60 range, and the foils right now are still in that $45 range, but the non-foils have come down all the way to $29. So the foils for this were still in the $100 range, don't get me wrong. And I just feel like I'd rather have the foils if I'm gonna, see a price get cut in half. I'd rather just have the foil version of a card. But is it worth it? It's pretty worth it, I guess, if you want to have your deck hollowed out. I think right now it's worth it because the prices are so low. But there are some cards that are keeping their value, like the foil Rapunzel. But the non-foil version is going to be 28.89 lowest verified by It's Dems TCG. And after that, we have more $28.90 with shipping included. All of these shipping included. Wow, so around $29 is what you're probably going to be expected to pay for Rapunzel. Closer to 30, not as expensive as a Tragic Beast though. And then Maleficent Monstrous Dragon is going to be the next most expensive legendary. So these are the big three: Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, Rapunzel, and Sad Boy Beast. Those are really the only three legendaries that are going to be like really good hits, when you're cracking packs, and is that really justify you buying a whole booster box of the first chapter or Rise of the Floodborn? And I just, obviously the answer is obvious. We know the answer. Buy your singles. Singles are way better for your decks. We got Beefcake with the lowest verified Maleficent Dragon for $26.49, so around that $27 mark. Same thing. Pretty much the same price as Rapunzel. Because next it's the side deck. They're awesome people. They host a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff too. $28.60 they have it. Lowest verified for the Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. So around $28, close to $30 is what you're expected to pay for the Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. The foils for this card are in that $40 range as well. It's going to be $41.99 by Ronin TCG for the lowest verified on the foil Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. So if you pull the foil, hey man, that's $41 right there. So you see what I mean? The foils for these cards have always just kept their value way more effectively. Yeah, granted, this was a like $80 foil at one point when the card was $50, but even now that the card is closer to that $25 range, it's still a $45 foil, $43 foil. You know what I mean? So it's still keeping a hefty weight, which is not bad. But if you're a collector, just I tell you, just get the foils, and they look nicer in your binder, honestly. Elsa, Spirit of Winter. This card has been seeing a little bit more play recently, but the price is still going down with all those first chapter reprints coming in. The lowest verified we have is $11.98 by Unique Emporium. And we have Stitch, Carefree Surfer. Check this guy out. Been going up in price a little bit. He was less than $10 for the non-foil, but he has been going up a little bit this week. Now we have Retro Yugs TCG for the lowest verified at $10.15, and then we also have a $10.22 by Radiant Sales. So this card was obviously like in that $30 range, and then it came all the way down. The foils used to be really expensive for this card, man. They were trending as high as $80, and these did come all the way down to like $20 for by Cat TCG, the lowest verified $220.26. Wow. Carefree Surfer Stitch, a really good card. It's just for whatever reason, not really popular, not necessary in the Amber in the meta overall, because it's really only using Amber Steel. There's only one Amber deck you can play, and it's Amber Steel. And overall, card's great. I think it's worth paying probably $20 for a foil of this card, because when if there's ever a situation where Amber becomes the best color again in a format, and this card is still being used, which I think it would still be used, it's just going to go back up in the price, right? A lot of these cards that are low, I think if Lorcana ends up having like a longevity and you can play these cards from the first three sets for a year from now, 2 years from now, then I think a lot of these cards are just going to hold some type of weight, right? It just feels like the game is so fast-paced right now, though. It's so fast-paced, but I like this card. I think this card's always going to be good. To see it back at more than $10, or like around that $10 range for the non-foil, does make sense, but I don't think it's going to go up too much in the non-foil range. I think it'll go back up in the foil first. Bell Strange but Special, this foil, this non-foil is close to that $15 range again. We have Skies TCGs for $12.97 with $1 shipping, then Retro Yugs for $14.20, so about $14 to $15 again for the Bell Strange but Special. Sisus are super inexpensive. These are like $5 legendaries. The foils for these are about $11 to $12, which is kind of rough to see because I have a couple of these, and I pulled them when the game when Rise of the Floodborn first came out, and I probably should have sold them, but I didn't. And the foils are just not that expensive right now. Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor. This is a cool one. The foil still ends up having like some kind of cool price, even though the non-foil is only $6. The foil is more than double, almost triple the price. With Cat TCG being the lowest verified, it's at $27. So if you have a foil Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tail that you pulled, make sure you're getting the right value for this, because these are still pretty expensive for being a card that's just not played, you know, in Lorcana at all. For a foil, it's gonna be about 27, almost $30 for that one, so that's pretty cool. I think cards like Mickey Mouse, obviously, it's on the cover of the booster packs, on the cover of the booster box, and it's Mickey Mouse is the mascot of Disney. You know, cards like this, and when they're foil, they're gonna kind of keep that value too. It has that I don't know if you call it nostalgia tax or something. Snow White Well Wisher, a very cheap legendary right now. This card has also all the cards just been falling in price, keeping a very low price. Even the foils for these are super. The lowest verified for this Snow White is going to be 747. And we have Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. The lowest verified for these are going to be Nexus Game Lounge, $5.97 with $2 shipping, so around that $8 mark. But the foils are going to be close to $10 to $12. We have Picante TCG. Okay, they have it for $10. It's a damaged cold foil though. No, okay, ignore that one. So no, so a near mint cold foil is going to be about $12 to $13. So that's pretty cool. Not double the price, but $4 more for a foil on the Giant Tinkerbells. Rockstar Stitch, a very good card in the meta, still less than $5, where the cold foils are about $8 to $9. So, you know, I think these are some good foils. Maybe you can collect right now. The prices are pretty low, even though these cards are played. Since we don't have like an organized play system, these cards I think are pretty good to collect right now, for the prices anyways, right? Arthur's Wizard Apprentice has gone down a significant amount in price. This was around like 15. It was almost hitting close to $20. It was kind of bouncing off that $17 to $18 mark, and today we can find the lowest verified by Ty's Trading Gurch for $12.45 with $1 shipping. So we have more after that. MPL's Card Exchange $13.85. So around that $13 to $14 range, Arthur Wizard's Apprentice. So it's looking like the card prices are still stabilizing, you know. Yeah, 15 when people were paying $16 to $17 for the Arthur, it was a little high, especially when like the Cinderella Stout Hearted fell all the way to $10. So maybe Arthur might get close to that $10 range again, guys. Who knows? But the cold foils are kind of keeping their price a little steady. They're not in that $20 range anymore. They're more in that $14 to $16 range. Ariel Spectacular Singer. These are some cool cold foils that I think are worth pulling in the first chapter. So I have Ariel Spectacular Singer. These foils went back up a little bit. They were in that like $6 to $7 range, and now we have Skies TCGs for $8.37 with $1 shipping. And then after that, we have Sons of Arceus for $9.37. Then we start jumping up all the way to $11, $12, and these are light played foils. So it's getting pretty close to that $12 mark for the cold foil Ariel Spectacular Singers. The non foils for these are only like $2 to $3, and the cold foils are like, you know, getting above the $10 range. And I've been saying that cold foils are the way to go, guys. If you're gonna make a deck right now and you can pay a little bit more just to get the cold foils, I think it's worth it. I was saying it last time when they were around like $6, and now they're going up and they're steadily getting up there. Granted, there's a lot of the first chapter being printed, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Not financial advice. I just like buying cards. There's going to be a non-foil lowest verified listing of Strength of a Raging Fire. Anyways, it's going to be by MPL's Card Exchange, $6.50. So still in that $6 range for the Strength of a Raging Fire. Price point. It's not really in that $7-8 range anymore, but get this, check this. The foils, we have a lowest non-verified for $6, so, and then we have lowest verified already at $8. So it's only about $1 or $2 more for the foil Strength of a Raging Fire. Hint, hint. I think that's pretty good. Pinocchio Star Attraction. This card has fallen in the non-foil price, but the foil price range is still about $8. So if you pull a foil Pinocchio, it's about $8 to $9. I think that's pretty cool. The non-foils are going to be about $5 for the non-foil. So I've been seeing that go pretty well. And then we have Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. This one is going to be a foil, almost $20 for this foil. Wow, check that out. The card price has fallen a lot. The card price has fallen a lot for this one, but the foils are still kind of keeping their price range, which is pretty cool. We have a lowest verified by The Pain Gaming, $18.99. All right, and then Health Points TCG for $19. So almost $20 for the foil Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. The non-foils have come down though. These were kind of bumping off that $15 price earlier in the week, but Now we can find a bunch of non-verified sellers having it for 11.40 with $1 shipping, $12. So not really $15, but hey, it's still more than $10. And we did see it at $10 for a while. So if you got them at $10, congratulations, you're saving some money. But you can still kind of get them now when they're not $15, right? The prices keep going up and down. Be prepared. This foil is $10 now. The non-foil was $10 like all the whole format. You know what I mean? But right now the prices are looking pretty good for the foils. It's kept its foil price because the non-foils now are about like $5 and the foils are still $10. I think these are great to buy in a foil version. If you're playing last format, Be Prepared were $10 across the board, and now the foils are $10. Like, why not, right? Grab your swords. These have been going up in price. The foils have been going up in price anyways. They were as low as $4 to $5, and now we have a lowest verified of $7 by Zarnian ACG, and after that we have the Wasteland Gaming for $7.99. So almost $8 for your Grab Your Swords by going by a verified seller. We can go by non-verified and get it for $6.50 with $1 shipping, but you're still gonna pay about $8 after that, right? So $8, almost $10 for Grab Your Swords. The staples, the foil staple, guys. I say it every time. The foil staples, they're really good. They're really good to collect. I think those are cards that you want to get a playset of and just never trade them, or always keep a playset of foil staples. And that's why I mentioned the legendaries like Surfer Stitch. Very good card. I think if you want to collect those as a foil staple right now is the time, right? Nikki Dubs, we have right here. This man has dropped down in price a lot. I said this was going to happen. The popsicle deck is not that good right now, unfortunately. And the uncommon for this is no longer within that like $3 to $4 range. It's going to be lowest verified Mystic TCG $1.35, $1.68 by Inland Warlocks. So about $1.50 to $2 for the Nikki Dubs. The foils for these are still about $2 to $3. So why not just get the foils for these now, right? The uncommons, the non-foils used to be the same price, so just get the foils. Tamatoa is so shiny. Love this card, but boy, did he fall down in price. He was about $10 at his peak. Now the non-foils are selling for about $3. Is based $2 to $3 is what you're expected to pay. The foils for these though are still about $5. So that's not bad in my opinion. When the market price was about $12 for the foils, and now they're about $5 for the foils. They did keep some value, right? But still, popsicle deck kind of falling down. Baby Noi, if you pull this out of your pack, is about a $5 foil though as well. We have it lowest verified by Rflow TCG, $3.73 with $1 shipping. And then Red Panda GCC, $3.99 with $1 shipping. So $4 to $5 for the Noi Orphan Thief. And last but definitely not least, we have Goons. And Goons is going to be selling for, wow, we actually have some multiple sales for Goons. On yesterday, on the 21st, somebody bought 4 of them for a total of a penny each. That's a deal if I ever seen one, because the person before you paid 3 pennies for just one of them. Oh my gosh! So this person paid 50 cents for a cold foil. Oh my goodness! The Goon, did you guys see that? The Goon's cold foil price going up to 50 cents. That's outrageous. That's like market breaking right there. Shout out Goon. Shout out all the Lorcana Goons for sticking around for that bad joke. The Mickey Mouse friendly face. This card I think is a little overpriced in my opinion. That's it's actually been going up. Or not going, but it's been keeping its like steady price ever since like the gift sets came out. Even though the gift sets are still close to like MSRP, people aren't really buying them. I feel, or people definitely aren't opening them. And I think post Christmas time, when people start opening their gift sets, these are going to go down in price. I'm thinking these are a little overhyped right now. I wouldn't pay $15 for this. I probably think these are going to hit as low as like $5 to $10 at one point. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please remind me, and I will eat my words. I think this is a little overpriced for this card. Same thing with all the other D100 collector gift sets, collector cards that have been in there. You see how the Elsas have been falling down. Mickey's the only one that's been going up for whatever reason, but they all come together. They're all as easy to get, right? So I just don't see a reason why this card should be any more than any of the other ones. It's kind of ridiculous that it's still more than $10. The Rapunzel Gifted Artist packs promo. I want to reference real quick because these were a little bit more than like selling for a little bit more than almost $30 at one point. Yeah, 35. They're all selling for $35 when they first came out. Even like $50 out the gate, right? And I always mention that when these promos come out from these events, out the gate they're going to be super expensive. We now know that Ravensburger is going to be releasing these promos at multiple events throughout the region, so it's not going to be the only time you can get this Rapunzel PAX promo. It doesn't have a specific signifier that it's from PAX either. This is all like factual stuff that they have said already, and the prices are just going to keep coming down for these, I'm sure. So they're a little bit overpriced in my opinion. Still, $20 for this Rapunzel doesn't seem worth it. Give it a couple more months. We're gonna have more events in the future. We're probably gonna be able to get this for way cheaper than $20. But if you want it right now, hey, buy it. It's up to you, right? But that is all I have for the Disney Lorcana Market Watch for Friday, December 22nd. We're almost to the end of the year, guys. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching all these market watches. Remember to not buy the pre-orders. It's just not worth it. I think you're better off looking for it at an LGS or getting your hands on it in another way instead of paying a clearly overpriced, for a clearly overpriced price, and then having to wait 2 weeks still, up to 2 weeks for it to land at your doorstep after it's released, right? Overall, it just doesn't seem worth it. We've seen the way the prices are coming down all the way to below MSRP for the Rise of the Floodborn and even the first chapter. So it'll probably happen with Into the Inklands as well. And I think the market's going to stay relatively low until we see some organized play demand kind of kick into action a little bit. But that is all I have for the Lorcana Market Watch. Thanks again, guys, and remember, as always, if you want to keep up with Lorcana stuff, subscribe, like, comment to the channel, help support the channel. It means a lot to me. But until then, we will see you guys next time. Stay tuned to Lorcana Goons, and I hope you guys have an awesome holiday weekend.